Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where and by we I mean me, Apo, my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. And today, Vincent, we're back in the Disney Plus streaming service.
We're back,
but we're not in the depths. We're not in the depths though.
No, we're right at the froth of the waves.
We are at the froth of the waves. We are doing 2022's very own Moonlight. You there, Vincent?
Yeah, just what do you mean? I know.
Let me do it. Let me do like some facts up top, some synopses and whatnot, and then we'll just get right into right into episode 1 of Moon Knight, because that is all that is out at this point. Okay, now this stars the incomparable Oscar Isaacs. I'll give you that up top, but Stephen Grant and this ain't the. Hold on a second. That's not the correct thing.
I got one from IMDb. Do you want me to give you that one?
You got one? Yeah, give me the IMDb one.
A former US Marine struggling with dissociative identity disorder is granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god, but he soon finds out that these newfound powers can be both a blessing and a curse to his troubled life.
These are things that we don't know yet.
That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know he was in the Marines.
I didn't know there was mercenaries, because I see that as well. Mark Spector. Have you got a Mark Spector character in yours?
Mark Spector.
In your synopses?
Yeah, Mark Spector. Yeah, isn't he Stephen Grant?
Man's is Stephen Grant. Well, at least Oscar Isaacs is Stephen Grant. But yeah. Oscar Isaacs might also be Mark Spector. Okay, well,
Spector.
We've been given the series in that synopsis.
Yeah, but also is granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god. Doesn't he already have it? Like, he's been Moon Knight.
He's been doing moon god business, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this show very quickly, and we'll talk about this first episode.
I just want to
talk about it with you, Vincent.
Like dissociative identity disorder. Like, I don't know if that's.
Well, I think that's. Tell me, man. Tell me what you don't think.
I'm no expert, but I don't think that is something that accurately depicts what's going on here. I don't know.
Well, we're armchair experts.
That's
we are
right.
Armchair experts.
I'm just going to Wikipedia this fella right here.
We're the Monday morning football coaches is what we are. We're the heads that come in late. We're sitting here on the couch. We've got the Dorito dust on us, and then we make the choices for what they should have done. We'd be great politicians so long as we were 20 years ahead of whatever was happening.
Yeah, that's right.
So we could just plan it for 20 years.
Yeah,
we would have had COVID sorted.
Look, like we said, we're armchair experts, but I don't think throwing in, mental health stuff that's, dissociative identity disorder, when like Mans has just got like some other dude living in his body, which I guess maybe. Look, I'm.
Let's not jump into that too much. What I do want to talk about that though, Vincent. Before you end up going around in circles, and you just say something, you're like, I regret everything.
Yeah, no, and then 20 years in the future will be like, well, we shouldn't have said that.
Vincent's one of those great people that he'll get into a circle of saying things, and he'll be thinking about it all through his head, and he'll just be going in every which direction, and he'll say something, he'll be like, "Now let's get off this topic straight away."
Yeah, because I'm saying what I'm thinking, which is not good, because then I'm just having the thoughts out there, and I'm just going like, bro, that's not actually what that's not correct thoughts.
That's the issue with the art that is podcast, and this is an art form in every sense, just like the painting above my head. It's that heads just come on here and they just say what comes to their minds.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean I'm cancelled? Man's just come out here, they're like saying all these things, and like, how could you cancel me, a white man, talking about things that he shouldn't be talking about?
Yeah, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Let's not talk
about that. But what are they gonna do for you, Vincent? What are they gonna cancel you on YouTube?
But they can't.
You're gonna lose a couple viewers.
That's right. They can't cancel me. It's not in their best interest to cancel me.
That's too much energy.
That's right.
Okay. What I do want to talk about is though, so the Moon Knight character is a character that obviously from what we gather from this first episode, there's at least 3 individuals within the Oscar Isaac body. There's Stephen Grant, who is he works at a museum and he sells gifts and whatnot. There is who I'm assuming is the mercenary, who's the cool Moon Knight character that we see at the very end.
No, I don't think he's the mercenary. I don't think he's the mercenary.
Who the hell is the mercenary?
I think so. Okay. So. I think there's 3 heads, and I don't think the Moon Knight is the mercenary. I think there's another dude that's the mercenary.
Should we talk about the movie, just the show, just a little bit before we get into the
That's a good idea.
Of the mental health thing?
Idea.
All right. So, basic synopsis of this first episode is there is Stephen Grant. He works at a museum. He's like Ricky Gervais. Man's just modelled himself off of Ricky Gervais in this, and for some reason, everyone in London has the same accent. And the same way of approaching, their speech and things that they say. But he works at a museum. He works in the gift store, even though he has all the ideas about Egyptology and whatnot. And he continues to wake up either in the middle of the night or fall asleep and then do something crazy. Including in one scene, he ends up going into another town and just fighting folk.
So there is only 2 mans. There's the Moon Knight, which is the mercenary, and then there's Stephen Grant. Yeah,
but there's also another voice, which we're not getting into this at the moment.
That's what I was trying to
You're meant to be
out.
having the conversation with me.
I'm not interested.
You got 3 conversations. You got 3 conversations in your head going on.
That's right. I got more conversations going in my head than Stephen Grant.
That's exactly right.
All right, keep talking.
Okay, but that is the first episode. The first episode is to provide some intrigue as to what's going to happen next. What is going on in this man's world? What is going on in the greater world? Because there's all sorts of ancient Egyptian business going on. There's all sorts of curses and people turn into dust and whatnot. Right? It is wild. But that is a basic synopsis. It's just heads running around and not knowing where they are.
Hold on.
If you're searching up this thing still, how am I meant to have a conversation with you and you're searching up this thing and you're telling me, hold on?
I need to know. Dude, there's 4
heads. Yeah, but this is not how conversations work. I don't care about 4 heads.
There's 4 heads. Look, I've got a Mr. Knight now. Like Mr. K Knight.
Yes.
I'm not talking like K Knight Shyamalan. I'm talking just K Knight.
Okay. This doesn't give me anything because it's not related to what we're talking about today.
Yeah, but it might be related to something in the future, and if we're going to make the right decisions 20 years from now.
So I got a basic idea of all this business, right?
Okay.
So there is the Stephen Grant man who's just a regular dude. There's the Moon Knight character who like beats up folk. He has the hood, and then there's the Mr. Knight character who's a bit more suave looking. We've seen him in the images. He's wearing more like a suit, like an actual suit with a tie.
Well, he's just out there doing business.
He looks like he's ready for business. If we look at the images, you might even get it up in this video, Vincent. But there should be 3, like there should be a character images, and there should be 3 of them, which is one has Oscar Isaacs with a hoodie on, looking quite sinister. The other one is the character that we saw at the end of this episode, and the other one is a man in a suit with the Moon Knight mask on, and that is Mr. Knight.
Yeah. And Mark Spector.
I don't know who Mark Spector is. Stop throwing names and things at me and going, wow, that's wild. I'm not having the same conversation that you're having in your head.
I'm all over the place. My goodness me.
You're just at a state. I mean, and it is late. It's late in the weekend. It's been a long week, especially you've been working hard these last couple of weeks, so your brain is all over the place, which is fair enough. But I can't. Also, usually I can. When I'm with you, I can. But from now, I can't get the conversations that are going in your head. But that's just content things, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. This is the last.
So let's
thing
get into
I'm gonna
this.
say.
Okay.
Oh, am I not going to say anything?
Okay. No. Tell me.
Okay. So here it says there's Mark Spector / Mr. K Knight, and
Yep.
then separated from them is Stephen Grant / Moon Knight.
Okay.
So, yes.
And, all right, well, at the end of this, we're going to talk about who we think like all the voices are and what they represent.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, Vincent, what I want to hear first of all is what were your thoughts on the Oscar Isaac's character, just as him as the general, whatever the dude's name is now, I've forgotten it, but walking around with that Stephen Grant with the English accent. I want to know what your feeling was around him as a character.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he was very. I thought this first episode especially showed Stephen Grant, aka Oscar Isaac, aka Mr. Knight, aka Moon Knight, aka Grant Spector.
AKA all the heads, yeah.
All the heads, that's right. I think it got the audience, aka me and you, pretty involved in him and him as a character. Like I felt like I wanted to see more of him. I thought I felt like I'm mates with this dude. Yeah. We're just going through his daily life, and he was struggling, but he was trying to get by, and he was rocking up to steak dinners a few days after it was planned, but he's just trying to do his best, and I can respect that, and I enjoyed watching him fumble around for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I think because from my understanding, this is a mini series, so it's going to be a 3-part series, and that's all we're going to get.
That's it.
Yeah, which.
Well,
so they had to pack things into this episode to give us a good.
There's going to be 6 episodes. Well, IMDb is telling me 6 episodes.
Does it say 6 episodes? Okay. It
says 6 episodes.
I misread it then. Okay, well, 6 episodes is a lot better than 3.
Yeah.
So that sort of takes away my point. I can only see 3 episodes here, though.
Are you on IMDb?
I'm on Wikipedia. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Yeah, 3 episodes.
Yeah,
no,
are you
don't.
On the Moon Knight Wikipedia or the Mr. Knight Wikipedia? Because it's probably 3 on each.
So yeah, the episode that we watched today, you're probably right, Vincent. The episode that we watched was the goldfish problem, which is obviously in reference to a couple of things. One, in reference to the fact that he keeps forgetting things, and things keep just happening as well, but also because there is a goldfish that changes within this episode. But I really enjoyed him as a character, and although I did feel that they had to rush it a bit just to get everything out in this first episode, I wouldn't have minded if it went on for a little bit longer, and we did see a couple more experiences of him transitioning into Moon Knight without necessarily seeing it, but seeing those initial things of him passing out in weird places and then waking up somewhere else.
Yeah, that was. I think this episode was really well done in that sense, because you were confused. I mean, you were in Stephen Grant's shoes. You were as confused as him. You were like, what's going on here? Like, we were just in his bed, and now we're in Bavaria.
That's right, and that looked like a nice town that I'd like to visit. I know that there was death and destruction, but it was a town that
cult things.
But you'd go in there, you get a pretzel that will blow your mind.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is really important is that a show like this could have gone two ways, and a show that sort of focuses on weird and wacky things can go two ways, in the fact that it can be either you're sitting there asking yourself, what's going on, this is crazy, or you're sitting there saying, what's going on, I'm intrigued to find out what's next. And this was a really intriguing first episode because it raises a lot of questions but doesn't necessarily need to answer them. And I think that's good that they held back on a lot of the stuff. Yeah, even the reveal of the costume at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think it was good because, I think they did a good job because we've never seen this man's before. This is brand new. And I don't know about...
to the on-screen world that we've experienced.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all the other Marvel shows so far, they've all been existing characters. There have been new characters within them, but they're mostly all existing characters, so we know them.
Yeah.
This one,
like we knew Bucky, we knew Loki, we knew all those heads before their respective TV shows came out.
Yeah, we knew Owen Wilson, like we saw him in The Wedding Crashers, we saw him in The Internship, we saw him in Midnight in Paris. Like we knew them all.
Yeah, two out of three of those are good movies, and I'll let you decide, as the listener and the viewer.
But yeah, I think it was a really good introduction to this character, and I'm just keen to see more, really.
Yeah, and I think that Oscar Isaac, he's got enough star power now, and for a while he's had enough star power to just sell things on his own. And the fact that he hasn't been given, I think now's his time where he's starting to be given big roles because.
But he's also a good actor.
He's a great actor. But there's good actors and then there's actors with star power.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that does like There Will Be Blood and he was Abraham Lincoln and whatnot? He's a great actor. But the star power is what he's lacking. Like I think he wouldn't even go into these sorts of movies. But he's not a person that people see and they go, man, that is an actor that I want to watch all of his movies. The general public.
Yeah.
But Oscar Isaac is an actor that people are like, I want to see him in Metal Gear Solid, which will be his next big thing that's going to be coming out.
You want to see him hide in the box?
Oh, bro, I'd love it, man. Imagine him hiding in a box and he's smoking cigarettes.
In the box.
Like that is in the box. And then some guy that's like got bees just coming out of his mouth like pops up. That's the Metal Gear Solid series in a nutshell. Just smoking in boxes. Yeah, sorry, Vince. I just got to put my my watch on Do Not Disturb because it's buzzing.
Because you don't want to be disturbed.
Yeah, because that TikTok that I released that got one view that we've deleted. Now the views are coming through after I've deleted it. They just said thank God.
Thank God. The TikTok executives message you specifically and be like, bro, thank God you got rid of that.
I think that the Oscar Isaac, this British character that he is, one is hilarious, but two, even though you only see him for a little bit, you feel so much for him because you're in the same experience as him, and you're like, I don't even know what's going on. I can only imagine what this guy feels like waking up, having his jaw broken, and getting shot at by some people in Bavaria. That's a wild sequence.
Yeah, that was
a wild number of events.
That was wild. I think, just to wrap it up on Oscar Isaac as the character, I just think, absolutely, they did a top tier job. You really felt like you were almost in the same shoes as him. Because as you just said, he's confused, we're confused, but you're going along just being like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is wild. I want to see what's happening next.
And also, Oscar Isaac is too good looking, regardless of his personality, to be in a position in which people are not letting him get the way that he wants.
Well, he did get a date with the other.
Yeah, he did get.
So, like, he's obviously not meant to be a loser.
No, but for him, like, if you were going to put anyone on the floor at the Egyptology museum, you got all the mum. You got all the mums and the dads bringing their kids along, and they're like, I want to go on that man's tour.
Yeah,
it's this man's that looks like Oscar Isaac's.
Yeah, that's right.
So they're not going to have him at the gift store.
Yeah, but he might not have the qualifications.
Yeah, and there's we won't get into the depth of like the
There's
qualifications
politics.
that
There's
you
probably
need to be
politics in
running.
there.
There would be politics. I want to ask you, Vincent, what did you think about? We got a little bit of a taste of who the potential, who I'm assuming the villain is in this movie, in this show.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. What did you think of Ethan Hawke? Like Ethan Hawke is a sight for sore eyes whenever I see him. But I want to know what you thought about Ethan Hawke's character.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was. I mean, I'm just thinking this is cult business.
Well, isn't that great? That I don't know if I know that the Mandarin, I guess, sort of fell into the same sort of thing.
Yeah,
but a cult within a superhero world is fantastic because of course there'll be cults because there's heads that have literally got the powers of gods.
Yeah,
living amongst men.
I mean, man's got moving tattoos.
And
that's a business. That's a business.
I mean, that's the future.
Like Harry Potter got them moving cards and whatever those things are. Like this man's
Pictures.
got moving tattoos.
Yeah, the moving newspapers on Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like what kind of ink they using? That's the question.
That is absolutely the question. For both situations.
The moving tattoos idea, I think, is where we're going. We went from memes to reels. We're going from moving tattoos to we're going from tattoos to moving tattoos. That's the only progression. What were your thoughts on what were your thoughts? Sorry, I'll cut you off about what your thoughts were on the Ethan Hawke character.
No, I thought it was really cool because he's very. I mean, he's just like a cookie cutter cult leader because he's doing the bidding of a higher power. In this sense, we can actually have some validity that there is actually a higher power.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're able to turn people to dust, essentially, you just take the life source out of them because then you know that they're going to do wrong. You can't sit there and say that I've made this up or someone's made this up.
No, that's right.
People will be drinking the Kool-Aid after that, as they say.
Well, because
I also think
there's no illusion there.
No. I also think that from not only is it that he has that ability, but he plays that role of being such a nice and gentle man so well, even though he can take life with in an instant. In
a flick of the tattoo.
Also, in a flick of the tattoo. Just to help me remember, did he create that monster that they verse at the end of this episode?
So from what I understand, doing all this research that I've just done, I've done about 4 hours of research in the past 25 minutes. So Moon Knight, the entity of Moon Knight, Mark Spector, Grant Stevens or Stephen Morrison, whatever the man's name is, and the Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, they're like a conduit for an Egyptian god.
Yes.
And then this other Ethan Hawke he's a conduit for a different Egyptian god, which was the lady of, I don't know, justice or death or whatever. I can't remember what it says. Amia? Amit. Mm-hmm. That's who it is. Yeah. Amit.
Because were these the gods that that Moon Knight is the conduit for?
So Moon Knight. So there's two gods. There's I'm gonna Khonshu, I believe, and Amit.
Uh-huh. Were these the ones that in one part of the episode, so Oscar Isaac says like there's two heads missing?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is. But there was a dude with the bird skull tattoo.
Okay.
Bird skull head. That's Khonshu, I'm pretty sure. From what I can see here, that's Khonshu. And then the other person is Amit.
There is a bit at the sort of towards the start of this episode when Oscar Isaac is walking into the museum and he looks and there's a sign showing the gods, and it's like these heads who are they're like the what's a reference that I can think of right now that would be hilarious?
I don't know. I'm doing
just insert research. Just insert it in post. Then Oscar Isaacs goes into the space and he tells the lady that's working there, he says, hey, you're missing out on two of the gods. So I'm assuming those are the two gods. I'm assuming that's a reference to us to understand who these two gods are within the show. Now, I want to know, Vincent, have you ever seen any Moon Knight prior to this? Like any comics or clips of Moon Knight prior to this show? I'll slap you in the head. Are you frozen?
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, dude, Moon Knight's wild.
I don't care if Moon Knight is wild unless you were having a conversation with me.
I'm looking at a page in a comic from Avengers, and my man's just got Mjolnir. He stopped it. He just stopped it in midair.
That doesn't do anything for me. They've all probably stopped Mjolnir.
I'm gonna have to look at these
in the comics.
Comics. Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
You know everything's happened in the comics.
Yeah.
I asked you, other than this 25 minutes of research that you've done in 4 hours, I want to know, have you seen anything of Moon Knight prior to stepping into this world?
I mean, I'd heard of him before, and I always liked Moon Knight as a concept of a character, but I never actually really knew who Moon Knight was. Wasn't there another TV show, Moon Knight? There was Moon Knight and...
Nah, it was something and night, right? But yeah, it was something recently with the word night in there, and there was two characters, but I don't believe that it was Moon Knight was one of the characters.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was a young girl and a man and a young man.
Yeah.
Have you found it, or do I need to beat you with a stick?
No, I'm gonna find.
Can I tell you about this thing?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Can I tell you about this thing? So, the one thing that I know Moon Knight from previous to this was a meme, which I've now seen that apparently it's not correct. Apparently they've put stuff over the top of it to make it hilarious. But it's a comic in which Moon Knight is versing Dracula. And he's walking down the stairs and he says, I know you're here, Dracula. You big effing nerd. Where's my goddamn money? Like, that's... Dude,
that's hilarious.
But apparently that's been edited for... apparently the meme does not actually exist. Man, that's sad.
The other one is Cloak and Dagger, not Moon Knight. I was completely incorrect.
Oh, Cloak and Dagger.
But
I understand, they're words and like words are close to other words.
That's right. None of those words are actually close to Moon Knight, but that's okay.
Nevertheless. So, Vincent, let's get into the mental health side of things. Now, this is where I need you to be looking at me, not at your computer screen.
I'm not saying anything about this in this topic. I'm not doing it.
No. We're not actually going to be talking about what they should or shouldn't do.
Okay.
Well, we are. So, now, the idea that I saw this interview with Oscar Isaac, and he said that they are going to approach mental health well in this show. Which, I mean, that's all well and good to say. That you're going to approach mental health well. Because I can say, we're going to get 350,000 views each episode. If it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, I didn't lie to you. Like, we're trying. Because it might happen later. The challenge that I think that they might face in this is how they're actually going to approach it. How is it going to come up in conversation? Will it be something that... Is it a conversation that Mark Spector has, whatever the dude's name is? What's the man's name? Stephen Grant. Has with his mother that he keeps ringing on the phone. Will there be conversations that come up? Or is it just that it's an underlying factor and it's that's the reason that he's checking in with his mum, because his mum has asked him, I want you to call me each day at this time to check in with me, which is something that is a strategy that people use around mental health. I think that the best way to approach it in this sense is to throw in little things like that normalize these strategies that people with mental health challenges use, or normalize even just talking about it in one conversation, as opposed to it being like there was an episode of Loki in which they talked about certain political issues and they brought it up and it just was like, we haven't talked about this for the whole season. Now you've just brought it up for 5 minutes. and then we're off to something different. What are you thinking that they might do in this style of show?
I'm thinking that my caretakers will not want me speaking on this subject.
Your management team has told you not to speak on this subject.
My PR team, bro, they said they're ringing me right now. They're sending me messages.
You and
My
Mr.
phone blowing up.
You and Mr. Smith, you got the same. You've got the same management team.
Yeah.
And just phones are blowing.
Phones are blowing up, man. No, I agree. They should do things that maybe are things that people with similar mental health issues may do to help themselves, or have been instructed to do that may help them, and maybe normalise that a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to approach it, especially in this mass this form of Disney Plus media.
Yeah, I think I agree when you brought up the Loki thing. When they just chuck it in there, it's almost like, hey, look, we're good. We can do this.
Yeah, and it doesn't help their case that they're billionaires, but they make billions of dollars on movies. So it doesn't help their case in that sense. But
no,
but there are better ways to approach it, and I think it can be done, and it should be done in this medium as well. Because, superhero movies, yes, they are, and shows, they are very much for entertainment purposes and for selling toys. I do understand that. But I do think that because it hits such a large proportion of the population, that they can be a bit like, hey, you know what? Let's actually do something that's worthwhile, and we'll provide people with something to think about other than, I can't believe he picked up Mjolnir. Did you know Moon Knight picked up Mjolnir in the comics at one stage?
Yeah, bro, but that's 100% wild.
I mean, that's wild, but
you just imagine seeing that on screen.
Yeah, see, it does nothing for me at this point. Just because heads are like, I could imagine every head picking up Mjolnir, and I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh my god.
He's not picking it up. He's stopping it. He's just throwing it. He's just been like,
yeah, we did see that though as well, so it does take it away a little bit. But I mean, we didn't see Moon Knight do it, but we did see Hela do it in the Thor Ragnarok movie.
Yeah, but that's different because she's blood.
Like, she's got knives in her hair and she throws them.
That's right.
So Vincent, what would you give this episode out of 10?
8.
Yeah, I was going to give it a 7.5. It's good, and I'm intrigued for next week's episode.
I'm excited. Yep.
And the suit looked real cool.
Yeah, I wasn't that keen on it. I thought
I didn't like the eyes.
I thought the hood was a bit too floppy or something.
Was it a bit? Yeah, but how are you going to be walking around with hard hoods?
Well, why would you work around with a hood at all?
I mean, that's Edna Mode. Shout out Edna Mode. It's true. You wouldn't want to necessarily be rocking out with a hood and something that could be tugged or
that's what I mean.
Also blocks your peripheral vision.
That's what I was just about to say, peripheral vision. But also, Mans might not have any bandages at the back of his neck. He might be being sun smart. So you never know. But I mean, from what I saw briefly of the hood, not the biggest fan.
I didn't necessarily like the eyes. That was what got me when it zoomed into the eyes at the end.
I can't remember that. Do you reckon?
But
do you reckon the RSPCA or the PETA will get on Disney's case for beating up a dog?
For beating up a dog,
yeah.
Dude, I reckon PETA will get on anyone's case.
Yeah.
Like PETA will get on our case. I was about to say PETA will get on our case for our food videos, and I was like, that's probably a reasonable thing, because fast food is probably destroying many animals' lives. No, I don't think they get at them, because do they do demon dogs as well at PETA?
I don't know.
Because PETA, if you're gonna talk about demon dogs, right, and you're gonna respect them, you also got to be saying to people who use hand sanitizer to kill COVID. That's a living being as well. You know, where does your line get drawn?
That's right. If it's not before demon dogs, it's got to be after bacteria.
And also, I should say, I shouldn't be arguing with someone that hasn't actually created the point of arguing the demon dog point. You know, I've just started an argument with Peter that doesn't exist. But yeah, this is a 7.5, Vincent. I'm excited for the next one, and I'm looking forward to see more. Just Oscar Isaac doing Oscar Isaac things, speaking like Ricky Gervais, and being in London. Maybe they'll get a fish and chips or something like a London things.
Yeah,
I'm on the tube.
I'm
Would you like to see him on the tube, Vincent?
Oh, I'd love to see him on the tube. I mean, last time I saw Heads on the Tube, I mean, it wasn't the London tube, but we watched Thor 2 and Mans was on the tube, and that was my favourite part of that whole movie.
That is very funny. That is a great part.
But what was I going to say? I was going to say something to round this off. I actually feel like I want to rewatch this episode again.
I think it's worth it. I think it'll be worth it because you'll probably pick up on a lot of different things.
There's only one other episode so far in the Marvel TV shows, the new ones, that I've thought of rewatching and that I have rewatched, and that was the last episode of Captain America or the Winter Soldier and his mate, the Falcon.
Dude, I thought you mixed Falcon and Bucky together, and you said, I thought you said something else.
No. No. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You said Flippy, man. You said Flippy. I have not rewatched that. I thought you were going to say something from Loki because like there's some killer Loki episodes.
Yeah, Loki was too inconsistent for me.
Loki was good because we were thinking things and then we were wrong with all those things, but then really nothing major happened in the end.
Yeah, it was,
which I think made me feel a little bit upset.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, but I mean, some of the episodes were wild, but some of the episodes were just pretty.
I mean, there was business going on. But Vincent, look, tell them where they can find us. Tell them to like and subscribe. Tell them that we're on TikTok. Tell them that we're on YouTube. Tell them that we're on Instagram. Tell them that we're on Twitter. Okay.
Talk soon.